This is JD. I'm also with Room 333, play bass guitar, do backup vocals, and yeah, pass it over to Shane.
Hey, this is Shane. I sing for Room 333.
Hey, this is Mitch from Room 333. This is episode 47 of the Sit Down Podcast with Funky Moose Records.
Welcome, and thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. So if I'm being honest, the way I found out about you guys was through LimboCast. I was talking with Joe one night, and he kind of shot me some YouTube clips of our songs of you guys there, and I think I was 15 seconds into that song Innocence, and I was like, yep, like, do you have contact info for me? Like, I'd love to have these guys on.
Nice.
So that's kind of how we found you, was through Joe, man. And fuck, man, I rocked you guys out all day today. So good. I'm definitely, you got a fan. I'm a fan for sure.
Nice. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And thanks for having us on. Yeah, Joey's definitely good for promoting. He's a good friend of mine from way back when. So he's always been really good at pumping people's tires. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, he does that for us too. That's nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like
So-
every Friday, doesn't he like just fucking tag everybody in a Twitter post, and he doesn't even say hi or what's up. He just tags everybody.
Okay. So you're new to
Yeah.
Twitter. This is a thing. It's called Follow Friday,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
and then you do #FF for Follow Friday, and then you just have a list of people that you want other people to follow. So
Gotcha.
usually Fridays is I turn off my Twitter because
Well, that's not what you're supposed to do, dude.
no, I know. No, I follow the people that he recommends, and then I just turn it off because all the replies is just
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, he's good at getting that stuff around, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed the stuff on YouTube. We do have a few videos on there, and in a couple days we'll have 2 albums and an EP up on Spotify and Google Music and all that kind of stuff as well. So we're just getting that stuff put back up again. I was up there before, and we just had to take it down for just a little bit, but it'll all be up there. So you'll have a couple albums and then a few extra songs to go through.
Oh, fucking
as
sweet.
well.
So by the time, so this episode's going to go up Monday morning. So I guess, so by now it would be back up?
Yeah, it should be back up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Hopefully.
takes a day or two, so we'll cross our fingers. But yeah, by the time this goes up on Monday, I'm thinking we should be able to send over some links for it and everything as well, so you guys can
sweet.
check that out.
Yeah.
It might be 1 or 2 business days. Just kidding.
But 5 to
You
10?
never know.
So tomorrow,
Oh,
So you
that-
guys-
that
I
is-
used to have.
you guys are based in Regina, right? All of you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing exciting. So we're all from Regina. Actually, well, I guess Shane and JD, you can tell your backstory. I played in a band in Regina with my brother and a couple friends called Chemical Horizon back in the day. And when we were trying to kind of break into the local scene, we found Still Seed, which is where I met JD. But JD and Shane have a whole musical history before that as well. So I really just kind of stole these guys and got them to be in my band when I was changing out some stuff back in the day, and that's kind of how Room 333 came about. But they've been doing music for a long time before this as well. So
Yeah, we've been me and Shane are from small towns east of Regina, or small towns, and when we were teenagers, we decided to get a band together, and that's how me and Shane met. The drummer at the time introduced us, and it was me, my brother, and the drummer from that small town, Peebles, and Shane is from Momart, and him and Jim knew each other, and one weekend they were jamming out, and then they recorded a cassette, and Jim brought it to school one day and said, "Hey, listen to this guy sing and play guitar." And I was like, "Well, he's a pretty good guitarist compared to what I'm used to." and stuff. So yeah, let's see if he wants to be in a band. That sounds great. So yeah, that's kind of where it originally formed, and we've been through a number of different bands, like throughout the years. Mitch said that he met me through the music scene playing, or say when I was in Still Seed back in the early 2000s, and then I was still playing music with Shane off and on the whole time. And so I mean, we've been playing together since 2000, I think. And
20 years,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah, 20 years. Holy
Holy
jeez.
crap.
So no, it's been really awesome. Like we kind of, with that history, we've really been able to bounce off each other and jive with each other. Like we have really good ear for each other's sounds. So
Yeah,
really,
yeah, we know each other really well, so it makes it a bit easier to sing with each other and stuff. So
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, do you guys have a drummer? Who drums?
Our drummer
we got
is Chris Dimas. Chris is pretty popular in the local scene. Lots of people know him. He plays in a number of bands. He's playing with Bleecker. They've been doing really well lately. He also plays in Surf Dads. They're a really awesome band. He's got a couple other ones. Doubt It is a really, really great project he does as well. So Chris is, I mean, he's just all over the place doing stuff all the time. He's recording and producing as well. He joined with us in 2012, I want to say. And we did an album in 2014 with him. So that was good. We had a full length, and then he did the EP with us in 2017, but he moved away for school for a year. And was touring for a while with Bleecker and everything. So that didn't really slow us down. We kind of slowed ourselves down for a while there, but yeah, so Chris is an excellent drummer. He's still jamming with us, and I guess, yeah, he's been with us for about 8 years now too. So pretty crazy, and yeah, amazingly talented guy. Doing lots of good work with Grind Central Records, and he's got a really awesome YouTube channel as well with lots of really great drum playthroughs and stuff like that. So check it out.
His coolest stuff though I found recently is his random like synth lines that he's just drumming over top of. Like they're just the cheesiest synth lines I've ever heard in my entire life, but it's just this live drummer just going nuts all over the goddamn place playing drum.
He's playing like drum machine beats over like synth lines that sound a lot like video game music and stuff. So his Facebook lately has been pretty entertaining. He's posting videos every couple days. I don't want to say like he's got a schedule or anything like that by any means, but yeah, he put some pretty cool videos just doing warm-ups and messing around with different drummer speak, like rudiments and whatever.
Did you say he's the drummer for Bleecker?
Yeah. Bleecker.
Oh, fucking A, man.
Yeah, he's doing really well. he's an awesome musician. Works super hard. So it's been really cool to see him having lots of success with
no doubt. I was
a
supposed
handful
to
of different
see
projects.
Joel just realized who
Bleecker is. Yeah. Was that with you, Mark? We were supposed to see them open for the Trues, and that got canceled. Was that you or just me and Janelle?
Not me. We were going to see Black Keys. That was canceled.
But Bleecker wasn't opening for Black Keys though.
No, Sheepdogs was opening.
I think they've played with the Trues before. I don't know if they did a full tour or anything, but yeah.
It was
a part of their
sad.
tour.
Definitely sad. And then I rocked out that song Highway. That's totally about cocaine, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
We'll find out and get back to you.
Oh, for sure, man. Well, you know what? Whether it is or isn't, in my head, it totally is. That song is completely about blow. I love it. It's such a good song.
Maybe you don't want the answer.
Yeah, I don't want the truth on that, but I'll just pretend like it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he does a lot of recording stuff too. Actually, he's really good. Didn't he get nominated for some kind of award recently, Mitch?
One of the SAS Music Awards. I think he got nominated for Producer of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So where is he now? Why is he not on a call?
With Chris, I don't know. He's probably recording somebody right now. I know Surf Dads, I think, have an EP that's supposed to drop soon. So you're welcome, Surf Dads, for
probably
this.
doing some blow up. Probably doing blow off a $5 hooker right now, right? No, just kidding.
That sounds like his style, really. I mean, if you knew him, that's exactly the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
Not even close. The most chill dude you'll ever meet. But yeah.
So does the album you guys put out in 2014, did you guys produce that and record that all on your own, or did you have to outsource it, or how did that go?
That one's all Mitch. That's all Mitch. He did that one.
Yeah,
we did record it ourselves, but Mitch did all the mixing, all the mastering, all the engineering.
Yeah, it was that was one of my first, I think it was my first full-length album that I did. I've done small projects and stuff. I shouldn't say that. No, I did a full-length album with Chemical Horizon, but that was a long time ago. It was completely
before
different.
The equipment that you have now.
yeah, before getting into some up-to-date stuff. But we tracked the drums in Chris's basement. Like we mentioned with Grind Central, he does, I think, virtually all the recording for them. So he's got a home studio set up there it's a really good home studio. And he's done a lot of it over the years and gotten really quite good at it. So we recorded the drums there together. We used a mix of his gear and some of my gear, and started there with the drums. I think for that album we did the bass there, or some of the bass there anyway, with JD, and then we actually ended up doing a little bit of the bass at Shane's house as well for a few songs, kind of all over the place. And then I have friends of the family that have a farm just out of town, and they have a farmhouse there that they use, one room of it for their office kind of thing, and then the rest is just a normal house, kind of just sitting there essentially unused. So I called them up and asked them if we could take advantage of that space and maybe use a room or two. And I said, we bring our computer out and some recording gear, and we'll fill the bedroom and everything, but we'll make sure that we're good in the house and everything like that. We're not going to be bumping amps into walls and stuff like that. And they were awesome. They let us do that. So we hauled everything out there, took a couple trips, I think. And out there we recorded the guitars and most of the vocals over a few weeks. And then we came back. We ended up doing a few retakes for vocals in the city, adding a couple last minute takes in the condo here in the apartment. So it was kind of recorded all over the place, I guess. That's a really long rambling version of it. But yeah, we did that. And then we foolishly booked a CD release date. And I was scrambling to get the mixes finished and just wasn't happy with a lot of it. But in the end, I think we pulled it off. I think there's maybe 2 songs that we all agree we're not super thrilled about the way they turned out on the recording in particular, but for the most part, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Again, it was kind of my first project producing. Shane helped out with a lot of the setup and being an extra set of ears. I mean, JD did too. Dustin, he's our other guitar player. We haven't mentioned him. That's JD's brother. He came and recorded his parts, but he also has a lot of really good input when we were doing the mixing and stuff. So I was bouncing out mixes quite a bit, bogging down these guys' emails, just sending something and then 8 hours later sending another 2 tracks, and I don't think they could really keep up with it at times. And then it just towards the end, those projects they get pretty heavy, but I think we got it together, and the album showed up shipping from Toronto the day of the concert, actually. So I was sweating a little bit for that. Yeah.
Wow.
But overall,
worked out exactly as we planned it.
Sure. all went perfectly. Yeah.
We still have hundreds of them in my closet if you guys are interested.
Fuck yeah,
sure,
man.
send some over.
Yeah. I want one of each.
Perfect.
So
I may have a couple other things of other bands too that might just show up as well. Use them as coasters, whatever you want.
So normally behind me, this is where Joel and I normally sit.
Yeah.
So we have a bookshelf, and we can put some stuff up there if you
For
want
sure.
to send some over. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll happily send something over. I saw that set up in some of the other videos. So yeah, no, we'll definitely send some stuff over for you.
Yeah, it's just that Joel is a little crippled right now, and the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So That's why
I
we're.
still got a broken femur right now still. So
Shit.
that's fun. Yeah, well, it was
on
self-inflicted. It was
It was
on purpose.
on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when?
Just getting really bored in COVID and decided you needed to spice things up a little bit.
Pretty much.
Just
Well, I
poured
mean-
some olive oil on the kitchen floor and just went to town. What could happen, right? You know.
Good thing
You guys are from small towns. It's boring here, so do something stupid like that.
Yeah, we got some pretty. You guys got some cool stuff in the background too. There, I see a few guitars behind Mitch there, and
Yeah.
His setup's better than mine.
Yeah, it's actually, so the guitars are pretty cool. I'll point those out a little bit here. But yeah, those are, I'm very straightforward. I like simple things, and when I find something I like, I kind of just go for that over and over again. So I've got like 3 or 4 of the same guitar up there. One's a 7-string version. They've got different pickups in them and stuff, but I've got a couple acoustics there, that aren't there as well, and a bit of sound treatment. So this is the room that I do all my mixing and stuff in as well.
What's that figure under your first guitar on the left there?
That's what I was going to say. So there's 2 things in this room that are.
Is that from the Mandalorian?
No, not from the Mandalorian. I would argue better, maybe.
I can't quite tell what it is. Is it Boba Fett?
No.
Star Trek.
It's the Shredder.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So my buddy Chet Mac, shout out, boo. Yeah. So he got this for me. I had a super major neck surgery about 1.5 years ago, and I was up in the hospital in Saskatoon for that. And he drove up, and he thought he should bring me a gift to make me feel better. So he got me the sickest Ninja Turtles shredder ever. So it's gonna stay in the box, I think, for a while, and I keep it around. It's just awesome. And then the other thing that's sick that's back there as well is Razor Ramon action figure.
I never did take that back. We were going to do a video for that, and I left it at his house.
He will be showing up. So Shane, JD, and I, we play in room 333 with our drummer Chris Dimas and Dustin, JD's brother. But we also, the 3 of us, Shane, JD, and I, we play in a group called King for a Day, and we've got a Facebook page for that as well. It's King for a Day, or KFAD Music. And it's really, we started doing some acoustic shows. We played the room 333 stuff acoustic, and JD was saying like he and Shane played together on and off over the years doing originals by Shane, and I think JD helped add parts to them as well. But so we started playing acoustic gigs, and we would play some of those, and then we started learning some covers, and we started learning a lot of pop covers. We started doing it kind of as a joke. I think the first one we did was Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah.
And
Britney, bitch.
yeah. And it went over well, and it was kind of fun. So now this whole thing turned into, we just ended up getting a lot of gigs, and it was just a lot of fun. We were playing at bars on weekends and stuff, and so we named it King for a Day. And so we play around town a lot, and it's a mix of covers and acoustic originals and stuff like that as well. So
we throw in a few room 3 as well, just acoustify those and try to chase a few people out of the restaurants, sort of.
Yeah,
it's good.
So,
it's good.
So it's really like King for a Day. I don't want to say it's a joke band or anything like that, but it's kind of something we just goof around and have a lot of fun with. We did a live stream, like there's a few live stream videos on that Facebook page as well.
On the King for a Day one?
Yeah. One of them we did in my living room, and it was crazy. It got like 3,600 views in a couple days or something, which we were thinking like, oh yeah, we're going to get like 45. It'll be sweet if we break 100. And then at one point we're doing it and there's like 100 people watching. So that was kind of cool. Doing that, but anyways,
like, we started off just doing it like we were gonna play like 8 songs and be done with it. We ended up playing for fucking like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because people were enjoying it, so we're like, okay, well, we'll keep it going. And yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
was
it
that
it
just like that was on Facebook Live, or
Yeah,
was it like
yeah, we just
streaming on
did
YouTube
Facebook.
and shit too?
It was
So
just
what kind
Facebook Live.
So what kind of songs did you do then? Because if you have to kind of on the fly add on, which songs do you play?
Well, sorry, guys, go.
I was just gonna say we've played cover like for quite some time now, so we've got this basically like stable of songs that we can just rip out pretty much any time. So we had a few songs that were like, we're for sure gonna play these, and then when people wanted more, we're just like, all right.
Well, what songs do you want then? And here's our list, right? So we have enough arsenal to do. We were playing a place in Regina here. It's called Bar Willow. It's an outdoor patio on Wascana Lake, and they had us out there a whole bunch this summer into the fall. And there was one when we played one weekend, and they said, "Hey, 2 weeks, we want you to play both Friday and Saturday. Can you do it?" And we were playing, 2 45-minute sets each night. So I think we got enough, and we were able to play 4 hours of music in the 2 nights, and we only had like 6 of the same songs between the 2 nights. So we have a pretty big arsenal of songs that and every single one of them, when we first did the live stream at Mitch's place, we posted our list of songs and said, what do you guys want to hear? And then the first person said all of them. I'm like, well, I don't think we got that much time, and the neighbors might get upset. but
fuck the neighbors, man. Rock it out.
They know they're next door to a musician.
Yeah, no, and it's so it's been a good project, and we've learned a lot of covers for that. For cover bands that are out there, some of them that have a binder with 200 or 300 songs, but we've only been doing this for a year or two, and it was off to the side. It kind of became the main thing for a while, and now we just got a batch of new Room 333 songs that are, I would say, the music is 70% sorted out for all of them. Chris and I were jamming them a few months ago, and getting stuff ready, and so now we're just starting to record that. But COVID kind of changed things on and off with that as well. But yeah, King for a Day, we were still lucky to play a few gigs over the summer, and so the reason we started talking about that was when you go to that Facebook page, if you check it out, there's a joke video that we made. It just features Chef Boyardee ravioli. That's all you need to know about it for now. But it's kind of a joke video. We were promoting a show.
Yeah.
Two shows even. Oh, okay. So we thought it was worthy of a bit of a bit of a joke video, or just, it's not really even a joke. It's just, it's us, I guess the best way to say it. And we found this really awesome new Razor Ramon doll. This isn't an old toy. I found it just walking through Walmart one day and had to get it because it's Razor Ramon. But so he'll be in a video that we've had planned for a while, but then COVID happened, and it's just been everything's been up in the air. But yeah, so King for a Day is the other project, and that's part of what this guy's around for, was one of the videos that we were going to have. So you'll see that at some point in the next few months, and hopefully. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you gonna put Shredder in there too?
Oh, I don't know. Shredder might make a video, but I think it'll be a different one. We've got a couple ideas in the bank for videos, so I'm sure Shredder's going to show up at some point. But we've got probably 2 or 3 laid out that we'll have to film, put together, and then find a reason to post, promote something whenever we can. But so hopefully that'll be coming in the next few months, and then also Room 333. Hopefully. I don't want to jinx anything, but hopefully there'll be new music, even if it's just one song out in February or March, hopefully, and then a few songs to follow that over the spring. So just some new stuff we've been writing slowly over the last couple of years, taking our time with it. I was really happy with Red Dragon as a whole. Our 2 albums, we did another one, Strength, in 2011, that our former drummer, Todd Bryanton, he also goes by Lil Deuce Deuce online. He's got quite a YouTube channel. He's got lots of subscribers and has had lots of YouTube success. He did a song called Beep Beep I'm a Sheep that went viral. It's kind of a children's song.
Oh yeah.
They got 10 million views and stuff.
I like trains.
I like Train. So if you check out that stuff, he's
Our drummers tend to get famous.
yeah, like really, drumming with us is a great gig. Because you'll do nothing with us, but your next job or your next hobby is going to just take off. But yeah, so he's found lots of success on YouTube and doing lots of other music stuff, and had kids and everything. So he was with us for a few years, and then yeah, he had a kid, and started a family with 2 daughters, and then YouTube kind of just took off for him all at once, and he got really busy with that. So he eventually stepped away from the band, and you know, everything's cool. He still does a lot of stuff. He's posting some pretty entertaining Facebook videos and stuff like that as well, pretty regularly. And then yeah, we found Chris, and Chris was with us for the album in 2014 and still with us. But Strength we did in 2011, and Todd recorded that. He does lots of sound work. He worked for Talking Dog Studios with his dad there for a number of years, doing music for movies and all that kind of stuff.
Where's that based out of? Is that right in Regina, or?
Yeah, they unfortunately they shut down, I think, just this last year, I want to say, or maybe in 2019. But they were running for a long time. I want to say a couple decades, maybe, in Regina, if not more. I don't quote me on any of that, but Todd's dad was doing it for a long time, and then Todd was working there and doing lots of really cool stuff. So we were super lucky when we got Todd to join us as well. He hasn't been doing as much drum stuff lately. He's just been doing lots of, I think, producing and writing and all that kind of stuff. But he was one of the most versatile drummers I've ever seen. Like, he could just play so many different styles, and I would always bring in these horrible time signature songs that I can't count to save my life. So I just come in and be like, hey, check this out, it sounds kind of cool, hey? And they'd be like, yeah, so what, count that out for me, what time signatures? And I'd be like, man, you're the drummer.
2212.
Yeah,
so
play some Tool.
exactly.
Yeah.
So he'd have to figure that out, because it's not like really discernible talent. It's just kind of winging it and hoping it sounds good, and sometimes it does. And then yeah, he was just so tolerant of that, and but yeah, could just figure that kind of stuff out. And yeah, so he did most of the recording for that first album, Strength. I think Shane and I did the vocals together off to the side, but Todd did everything else, recorded it, edited it, mixed and mastered it, and all that stuff. And then yeah, he left the band shortly after it came out, because like I said, all that other awesome stuff took off for him. And then yeah, we got Chris in, I think, 2012. Started jamming with him. That went pretty quick. We started writing new music, and yeah, in 2014 we recorded Red Dragon over 2 or 3 months, I think, in the spring into early summer, and then released it. And then yeah, 2017 we did an EP. I don't even remember how that came about. We kind of just threw together 3 songs and decided it was time to record something, so we tossed them together and put it out. And
I think we were just itching to get something done. So.
Yeah, that cover for Red Dragon, I saw it, and somehow I thought of Mortal Kombat right away.
Tell him, Mitch. Tell him.
Yeah, so we were recording that album, and it was honestly, like, I had such a good time. It was super stressful and horrible towards the end for me, just because of my own inexperience and lack of planning and stuff like that. But towards the beginning, like the first 90% of it was so much fun. Like, we had this house to go out to, that we kind of had our own space. Shane and I would go out there and hang out and record. Dustin, JD would come out and do their parts and hang out. And it was awesome just coming home and listening to different mixes and going back and forth. And yeah, so then, I don't know, it just a lot of it just felt like a really cool project. Things just were starting to come together and become cohesive. And so the concept for, like, what should the album be called, and the artwork and all that stuff started to come into play kind of thing as we got further through it. And Shane and I went back and forth on a couple different concepts, and I think I ended up saying, like, I'm not super concerned about the name of the album, but I want the imagery to just be like this sick, I don't know, 90s video game knockoff apocalypse, something like I wanted it to be just like, I don't know, I my girlfriend designed the album cover. I sat beside her, she was doing graphic design stuff, so just like the worst setup for her possible. But I just sat there and was like, I want it to look like this, like do something like this, change that, make that different, can you make this bigger and whatever. And but I was just like, yeah, I want it to be like the sky is on fire and things are just terrible, like it's the end of the world. Kind of like we see a lot today.
Yeah, a couple days ago. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, and so she kind of put that together for us, and I was really happy with it. And
the other thing you should point out is that at the time, and still to this day, we were playing a lot of Streets of Rage. And
yeah,
if you ever look at the opening scene of Streets of Rage, that you'll see the influence there.
I'm gonna
exactly.
look it up right now.
Yeah, it's a cityscape with like the villain taking over. So like Shane said, exactly, we were recording and we were playing lots of Sega Genesis, and I was just like, you know what, the music
for
in this game,
for the kids watching, that used to be a video game console.
yeah, that was the Xbox of the 90s and the PlayStation of the 90s.
Right?
Yeah,
But
man, Sega Genesis is amazing.
Oh man, so good. And
only like 3 buttons. Oh my god.
Exactly. 3 of the best buttons ever. That's all you need. 3 buttons and a D-pad.
3 buttons. All those buttons did the same thing, Frick. I wasn't a big Sega. I wasn't big into Sega.
I had Super Nintendo as well. Turtles in Time was another big one for me. Yeah,
I'm a simpleton, so those 3 buttons were good.
Do you guys do you have any like those old game consoles anymore?
Yeah, I in cleaning this room, I just emptied it all out. I've hopefully got some new equipment showing up soon. That'll be really handy for recording the Room 333 stuff. But I was clearing some stuff out and trying to make some space, and I found my old Sega Genesis, like the 32-bit console and everything. And I also, because I didn't know I still had that, but a couple of years ago, I got like a knockoff $50 Sega Genesis console as well. So I have 2 Segas like right behind me here, and then I've got Streets of Rage on Xbox that Shane and I used to save the city pretty frequently. I guess that game is the best way to say it. So yeah.
Right.
I'm modded a Wii, so I've got all of the old Nintendo games, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Dude, don't say that on a podcast. You're gonna go to jail now for sure. Modding Wii's.
Nintendo.
Yeah, nobody ever modded a Wii, not like an iPhone or anything. No.
Right.
Yeah, I was getting my little dude into gaming, but as much as I want him to play like the old Marios and stuff like that, he's too into like the newer shit like Minecraft and everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, tell him about that video game that you were looking for. And I found it for
King's
you online.
Quest?
King's Quest. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
shit,
I'm on the 3rd one already. I fucking hammered. Actually, the only reason why I hammered through the first 2 so quickly is because I like followed along with like a YouTube tutorial. Or
Yeah, you cheated.
I totally cheated. But it was
Sometimes
still
there's
fun.
no other choice.
It's the only way I
There's
win.
no other choice. Yeah. Have you guys ever played Case? So like 64, Nintendo 64 is my console of choice. That's just
I have one.
my favorite console that I particularly enjoy, and Legend of Zelda is the. Are you guys still there? I'm just seeing JD's frozen face there.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
but
we're here.
You're not.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
moving
You're
now.
back. You're back.
My internet sucks. Sorry. So I play a lot of Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time, I've beaten multiple times, no problem at all. Super fun. Majora's Mask, on the other hand, some of those fucking quests that they put you on, that you have to do something at a very specific time of day, they give you no hints on how the fuck to do it. You have no choice but to go on the internet. I have no fucking clue how any of these guys ever beat any of those games back before the internet was as prevalent as it is today. It's ridiculous.
Nintendo Power.
Anyway,
Nintendo Power magazine.
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say
good
that
point.
you needed a subscription to that.
Or fucking with a subscription.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm simpler. I play racing games, so
Oh.
I don't need tricks or cheat codes.
What
or
was
whatever.
what was your racing game, Mark?
I started with Gran Turismo on the first PlayStation.
Okay.
Oh, you're fancy. That's a real racing game. Like you play racing games that require skill and are
Yeah.
somewhat realistic. I was waiting for you to be like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play that too. No, but my like, if I had enough space in the house, I would love to have like a racing seat with a steering wheel and an actual simulation racing game. That'd be sweet.
You should
Oh,
just
yeah.
buy a
Remember going
fucking
to-
arcade.
Yeah.
No, like an actual simulation, like a simulator, not a game.
Oh, I see what you're saying. An actual real deal. And
Realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
You could buy a car, Mark.
But
That's there. That's
if
there.
I crash that, it gets a little more expensive.
It's a little dicey.
There's some safety concerns.
I thought you said you were good. Like, why are you crashing?
Who said I was good? I never said I was good.
Oh.
I played the fancy games. I never said I was good.
I want to ask too, you guys, where does the band name come from?
Oh, that
How
was
did
my
that-
question. You stole my question.
Yeah, like when I don't know why there's something I don't know, because I'm an idiot, but it makes me think of Stephen King for some reason, and I have no good reason why. I just, when I see, like, I was listening to it today and I had the dragon on the TV and stuff, and I'm looking at it, and at the bottom it says room 333 and whatever, but I couldn't stop thinking of Stephen King, and I don't know why. Any connection there, or am I way the fuck off base?
There is a horror movie called Room 333. Actually, I found when I was searching for us, doing an ego search on YouTube, and I found that. But Mitch, you can tell the story of what the name's about. So.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been talking so much already. I was really looking forward to you. But
I can tell the story, but it's a heavy one, and it's more involving you than me. So.
yeah, I'll try to give a
Cole's
medium
Notes
version. Yeah.
We've got all night.
So
Crack a beer, guys.
yeah. So I in high school I played in a band called Chemical Horizon, and that's, like I said, we played with Still Seed in Regina, and that's how I met JD. But my brother played in that band with me. He was our singer and I guess rhythm guitar player, and I was the other guitar player in the band. And so we did that for a few years. And then in 2008, I think it was 2000, I guess it starts in 2007. I had a friend of mine, I guess I would say. It was my guidance counselor from high school. I was a bit of an idiot when I was in high school, nothing crazy there, but my guidance counselor was a really awesome guy. His name was David Dalmeda, and he was just a wicked guy, really helpful to a lot of people in the school, and myself included. And so I graduated, and then a few years later in 2007, towards the end of the year, he was sick. And I saw an article in the newspaper. He'd been a guidance counselor for years, so he just knew so many people through the community. So it was in the newspaper that he was sick, and that was how I found out. So I went to go see him, and I saw him a couple times before he passed away. He passed away of bone cancer. And then it was kind of a rough time. I mean, that was horrible, but I don't, it's not like I had been close to him for years or anything like that. But a few months later, my brother went to work, and there was no warning signs or anything, but he just passed out at work. He had a headache, so he kept working, and then he collapsed and went to the hospital, and we found out he had terminal brain cancer. He went through about 10 or 11 hours of emergency brain surgery that night. And yeah, he wasn't supposed to make it past a few months, but he did, and he's still alive today. So that's my brother Chris. So he beat cancer, which was excellent, of course. When you get that terminal diagnosis, that's the worst news you can get. So for somebody to beat that, is pretty special. And so it was kind of a trip for me. The situation wasn't about me, but just, the immediate circle of people around somebody going through that hits pretty hard. And so it was kind of a different experience, because I went to go visit my guidance counselor, and I saw him, just a week before he passed away. And then 3 months later, I was going to see my brother in that exact same hospital room. And so that was
really?
hospital room. Yeah. That was hospital room 333. So my brother went through that experience. And it was, he was in the hospital for a long time. He was in a coma for quite a while. And so I wrote a lot of the music, around that time. And at that, we were Chemical Horizon as a band. So when he got sick, we kept doing that for a while. And I had met JD through Still Seed in the City. So his brother Dustin, who's a guitar player, he came over and he played my brother's parts, and I took over vocals for a year, and we just kept the band going. We just played shows and stuff like that, but we didn't really do much else. And then after a year of going through all that kind of stuff, I'd been writing music, of course, because that's what you do when you're a musician and you're going through something that heavy. And it was time to start writing music, but I didn't feel it wasn't going to be right to do it under that Chemical Horizon band name or under that group without my brother being involved in it, because he wrote all the lyrics and all the melodies and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to start a new group. So I had Dustin jamming with us from Still Seed, and we decided to start looking for another singer to start this new group with. And a lot of the music that I wrote over that first year is what started to be Room 333. We jammed with a guy named Nick Hennick for a while. He's doing a lot of cool stuff right now too. Yeah. So we jammed with him for a little bit, and then he was doing some other stuff. So after that, I was talking to Dustin, and that's where my scheme kind of came into play, to lighten things up a little bit. But I was like, yeah, our bass player Jerry from Chemical Horizon, he was looking to go to school and stuff as well. So we were needing band members. I needed some people to work on this new music with and to keep doing stuff with. So I told Dustin, I was like, you got to get your brother JD, and we need a singer. So maybe you can manipulate JD into talking to Shane and see if we can steal them and start this new band. and yeah, so we started jamming. We wrote a few songs. Shane came over. We started writing some music. It was a bit of an adjustment for Shane. I'll let him talk about that in a second, but he was doing acoustic stuff mostly. So I think he was, I'll let him say, but I think he was entertained by the thought of doing something different. So he came and started jamming with us. So then Shane and I started getting together and writing some of the first Room 333 songs. And that's how the band name came about. And that's how we started. So, yeah.
Yeah. When Dustin reached out to me and said, hey, he'd said that need a vocalist and need a bass player. And at that time I was singing clean vocals for a death metal band called The Fifth Dawn. And I also played, like, I wasn't playing bass for that band, but I was playing, and that was the end of Still Seed sort of thing. So around the time of that time, and I was like, well, geez, vocalist and a bass player, like I do backups and I'm perfectly fine with that, but at best I don't feel I'm a great frontman. so I'm like, And then he's like, no, I was talking about Shane. I was like, oh, good God. Excellent. He's much better. He fits that part much better. So yeah, I'll play bass and do backup vocals.
For the record, though, guys, your timeline's a little fuckered because I was actually in before JD. I actually jammed with Jerry a couple of times, and JD, you showed up shortly thereafter.
Yeah, Dustin had reached out and asked, and we were jamming to, like, we were doing acoustic stuff at that time, and I had told you, and I didn't hop in because Jerry was still playing the bass, but yeah.
And the timeline is super, super important, like integral, obviously.
I'm sorry, man. I dissed you so hard. I'm so
sorry. But yeah, no, it was good because I was just singing clean, like acoustic, super mellow, like borderline emo music, basically.
But it was still good though.
I mean, it was good for what it was, and I mean, we still play some of those songs with Kingford. That bad. But to get into like a heavier group, I mean, and we're not a metal band by any stretch, but like we're certainly hard rock, very, very loud. It was very different for me, but it actually helped me really grow as a vocalist, which I appreciated. And yeah, it was just kind of a different thing. So I enjoyed it.
There was I have a couple questions actually. Like I said, we're not interviewers, but I am intrigued for sure. One thing I'd like to know is that I'm curious about, what was the first song that you guys wrote as Room 333? And was there, like, listening to you guys today, I mentioned this in past episodes, when I'm listening to the guests that we're going to have on the show, I don't know what it is about me, but because like there's indie groups, right? They're not like Metallica or nothing like that. I try and relate them to like where they would be influenced from, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of drawing a lot of like Tool, and I don't know if that's accurate or not, but fuck man, like I could put you and Tool side by side and I would swear that like you were the son of them. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's an awesome compliment. That Tool is definitely definitely an influence. I think Mitch, your Tool and Finger 11, actually, like early Finger 11 are his two big ones. For me vocally, I definitely, when listening to the music, because I mean, I've always been a fan of Tool, and when I was listening to the music, that was the vibe I was getting off of it. That's certainly what I was trying to kind of feed off of. I know. I don't know. It's tough. Like influences are kind of all over the place, and some of them
right
know for sure, and some of them are subconscious, right?
So what do you think of the new Tool album, like that came out last
I like
year?
it. I liked it. I do kind of think it was it was really good, for the record. I'm not going to talk shit about it at all. But what I will say about it is I did feel it was kind of like 10,000 Days Part 2, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah. To me, there was a very clear difference between, I believe the one before it was Lateralis, or however you pronounce it, and then 10,000 Days, with two very distinct albums. And then from 10,000 Days to this new one that the name escapes me, they just sounded very similar. But I enjoyed 10,000 Days quite a bit, and I enjoyed this one quite a bit for the same reason.
Yeah. I was gonna sound smart and tell you the album name, but
no, please, I don't remember it.
Yeah, oh no, but I don't remember.
No, that's
Fair Inoculum.
That's it.
Oh, that's
Fair Inoculum.
Yeah.
And then as far as the first song we wrote, was that Blind?
Yeah. So we, I guess when we started the Room 333 stuff, or the first song that was written after Chemical Horizon, was a song called Dry Eyed Tears. It's on.
That was with Nick.
Yeah, and it's on the album Strength, and we did that with Nick when we were jamming with him for a bit there. So that was the first song under the band name, but the first song, like when Shane joined and when we kind of settled into really what the band is, I guess, was Blind. And it's funny because there's two versions of that song. There's only one on the album. There's only one that's been released. But so that Shane came over a few times, and this was kind of when we were feeling things out. You know, he was on board to work on music with us, and we were excited about that. But I mean, it still has to work, right? So that was kind of when he was coming over. I was sitting with an acoustic guitar, which worked. You know, I wrote a lot of the music on. I still do write a lot of music on acoustic guitar, and then move it over to electric. So it worked out well because Shane had been doing all this acoustic music. So Blind was the first song that we started putting together. We wrote it and we started jamming it as a band, and then we wrote the rest of that album, I guess. And which I think it's like 8 songs or something like that. But we wrote the rest of it, and then when we tracked it, I think we recorded a demo of it. We may have even done a vocal take of the original version. And Shane and I kind of, yeah, Shane and I kind of just had a conversation where we very slowly went back and forth, getting closer to admitting that we really hated the way that the song turned out. And, like, it's a delicate thing, right? When you've just written a handful of songs with somebody for the first time. And Shane and I think, have had history of, being pretty possessive about our songwriting in the past. But I think we both did really good at not doing that this time. And so we were kind of tiptoeing towards each other, just being like, this song fucking sucks, man. so
keep in mind, they didn't know each other all that well too, right?
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah. So we really just, I mean, it wasn't the whole song, but we just didn't feel good about the chorus, I think it was, and maybe a couple other small things. So we worked on that together. That was probably the only time I really had any input on vocals, and it was pretty minor, I think, but we rewrote that while we were tracking it, and we sent it to the rest of the guys. And this was the album that Todd did all the work, other than, like I said, tracking the vocals. And it was kind of unfortunate because the band ended up being really split on it. Like I'm
Todd
pretty sure
really didn't like the new one. Yeah, Todd really didn't like the new version.
but
I'm the singer, so I get to decide.
Yeah. And so the version that anybody has heard, are dozens of fans out there, is the second version of the song.
Literally tens of fans.
But yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
the first song. Yeah.
When I want to throw it back to that live stream that you guys did on Facebook, how long ago did you say that was? Like, that wasn't through COVID, was it?
It was early COVID. Yeah,
it was
right when lockdown first started, and we were still allowed to have a couple of people together.
Right.
I want to say it was May, May.
Was it May?
Yeah.
April. I'm thinking April, but I could be wrong.
I can find out. Yeah.
It wasn't that far back. We haven't posted like 1,000 things or anything like that.
No.
Man, 2020 was just a blur. It could have been,
no doubt.
Could have been August.
Yeah.
No doubt. Is there would you guys be open to doing something like that again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're planning to.
We've already talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah, part of this setup that's changing in this room. This is like a super cramped, like 8 by 10 foot room, with a bunch of studio equipment that's just off camera in the corner and stuff. But I think we're gonna, when restrictions allow for it, we'll be doing some live streaming stuff. And when we did those previous ones, actually, those were all just off of a cell phone, and they actually turned out, for a cell phone, I think I was really surprised by the quality. But we, since COVID has made this stuff a lot more significant, I've done some stuff to put something together for us so we can do some live streaming. So we're definitely going to do a King for a Day set and do some acoustic stuff, the 3 of us. And we've talked to a couple of the guys, talked to Chris as well, potentially about doing a Room 333 live stream, but I won't guarantee that at this point, because as awesome as that would be, it's a whole lot more work, and there's just a lot more moving pieces to get that going the way we would want it to. Room 333, I think the best way I would say is, like, we haven't been the most active band for the last few years, but we've been doing it for a long time. I think we're pretty happy with the way we're able to do things. Like I'm really proud of the stuff that we've done. And I feel like we've set for me anyway, and I think every musician feels this way too, but like I feel like we've set a high bar for ourselves. So I don't want to half-ass anything. So doing a live stream with a full band and making that sound the right way, and getting it to translate the way we want it to, there's just a lot more involved with that. But hopefully that will be happening as well. But we're definitely going to do some King for a Day stuff, try a few different things out, and see if we can get some, just improve what we've done in the past with the streaming, and hopefully do some more of it, because COVID will hopefully be better in 2021, but things aren't going to be normal for who knows how long. So
right, like forever, right?
Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
The only constant is change.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually the way you're explaining that is kind of like how Joel and I do our podcast, because we started off, we put our phone on a tripod and started talking, and then we figured, well, we need a microphone because we sound like shit. So
Yeah.
then we added a microphone, and then we found out that the microphone sucked. So
Yeah.
we needed new microphones, and
It was like, we got to get our ass off of this couch.
yeah,
We're just sitting on the couch.
so then we got a table.
Yeah.
So you had a shitty microphone and you were uncomfortable. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Fuck, I you know what? I should go back and watch like the first 2 or 3 episodes, because we're just sitting there with our laptops on our lap trying to look up like what's going on in the music world. Like that was the concept, right? Like music news, really.
Yeah, we were gonna do comments, or we were gonna comment on what happened in music world in the past week. That was the idea, and
Yeah.
it started off okay, and then all of a sudden we got this call from an artist that wanted to be on our show, and we were like,
we're like,
sure.
you're listening? Where'd you hear our show?
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were recording. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. You mean we're doing something right?
It's kind of like you, our handful of fans. But yeah, so we were like, okay, yeah, sure, but now what? How are we gonna do this? And that was just in COVID, right, Joel?
That we started, yeah, I think when we had our first guest. Our first guest was episode 14. So it would have been, what is that, like May? 3 months in? Yeah.
Yeah. So then, and then we started seeing that our numbers were going up and the viewers, and we started getting comments and whatever. And it's like, okay, maybe we should invest in this a little. And then,
yeah.
We still got more investing to do in it though. But yeah, I mean, it's just evolving is what it's doing.
Yeah.
It seems like there's always, it's never been set up where, you know what, I think even to this day, like there hasn't been 2 episodes back to back that have been consistent with one another.
I think the last,
a little different.
I think the last couple or 3 that we did here together, those were pretty similar.
Close to consistent.
Yeah, but then you had to go and break your fucking leg. So
too fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't miss an episode.
Nope.
Nice. I did one from the bed.
I almost well, I wouldn't miss an episode, but like tonight my computer was doing weird shit, and it was like okay, so if this doesn't work, how am I going to join?
I would have just told you to fucking get your ass over here. Mark and I only live like a block away from each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like literally not even a 5-minute walk, I don't think. But
Shane and I live pretty close together as well. Like we're in the huge, massive city of Regina, but but he actually lives like, I don't know, I guess down the street.
We live across
the street.
Yeah, we live across Park Street basically from each other. So.
Oh yeah.
JD's like way out in the other end of the city. Yeah, it takes
I gotta
like
take
3 hours.
I gotta take the ring road to get there.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that adds like 5 minutes.
Oh, you have no idea. Every single time, they never come and jam at my house. Just kidding.
I know we say that we don't like to get too political, and we never really have, but I have a question that I'm scared is going to steer that way. I'm curious, and I'm just going to go for it, but I'm curious. your guys' opinions on these on the restriction policies, because in my opinion, I'm confused. It doesn't make sense to me how like people can fucking go shopping or go sit at you can have 4 people at a restaurant per table, but yet I'd be looked down upon if I had Mark come to my house to record an episode like this. Or if you guys get together to do a live stream and you're 6 feet apart from each other in the same room, people are gonna like give you shit about it, but yet you can fucking go eat at a restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how you guys feel about that.
Yeah.
So as far as like I feel about it myself, I've kind of given the powers that be a pretty wide berth, I guess you could say, with this, because I don't think people really know what the right answer is.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you as far as, you know, it seems really silly that you can have hundreds of people in like going shopping at Walmart, but you can't have your family over for dinner, right?
Or for Christmas,
or for Christmas, right? And like where like you said, like you can have 4 people at a table at a restaurant, but you can't have your buddy over to drink a beer, right? So I definitely get that. I think personally what's happening is that the governments are kind of scrambling on, okay, like how can we keep the economy rolling, but try to keep people as safe as possible. And I think that there's been some missteps there, and I think that there's maybe been some questionable decisions. That's doesn't really go anywhere, but that's just kind of my opinion on what I think.
I agree. It's, to me, it's like politicians are also human. Yes, they make mistakes and everybody's bitching about them, but go ahead, you go sit there and make the decision for the whole province, you know?
Mhm.
So it's, I get it. Mistakes were made, even with the vaccine. I heard today that that 72% of the vaccines are still in freezers somewhere that were supposed to be everywhere in Saskatchewan by now. But that was because, because they, as in the Saskatchewan government, understood that they were supposed to keep some in the freezers for the second round of vaccinations, which wasn't the case. So there was a miscommunication somewhere, and now people are bitching like, well, why are 72% of vaccines in a freezer? We should have those here. And it's like, yeah, okay, mate. Nobody's perfect, you know, shit happens. And I'm not going to defend a political party or whatever. I'm not going to attack Mo or Shahab or whatever. We're all human. We all make mistakes. And these rules were made, you know, in a panic, like, holy shit, what do we do? And we can't afford to have more of the economy shut down because, you know, business will go out of business, and that's not good. So I think they're trying to balance it, and, you know, they're just trying to do what's best, I guess.
I heard
it's a delicate balancing act, and really it's, I don't want to say we're in uncharted territory, because I mean there was the Spanish flu epidemic that happened in the 20s, but I mean that was fucking 20s, right?
Oh yeah.
Nobody really remembers. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean we're kind of in uncharted territory too.
The world was also different in the 20s,
That's
like
right.
1920s. Like they didn't
Yeah.
have internet, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
JD, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that there's, sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought for a second here. With the decisions that were made, I think it kind of falls back on what am I able to, like, from a politician's standpoint, what am I able to control versus what am I not able to control? So they can set regulations from a commercial side of things and say, you know, these businesses have to adhere to these rules to make sure that there's proper social distancing and all of that. But they can't reinforce those restrictions on individual homes. Like they can't, like, technically the politicians can't come into my house and say, yo, what are you doing? Without actually having that set in place, right? So the fact that they can manage that from a business standpoint, like if they walk into the business, they're just gonna shut the business down if they don't have this stuff in place. And it's a public place, so they can freely do that without having to get a warrant or something like that, or have a reasonable cause to go in, right? So I think that might have do with okay, well, from you can't have more than 5 people in your house. You can't go visit anybody else's place. You know, for the 3 of us, we can't get together in one place to jam. I want to say that might be play a factor in it. Again, a lot of decisions are made. A lot of people don't agree with them. And just like you guys, I don't like to get into the politics behind it, because that just, you know, it frustrates, and it raises blood pressure for everybody, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, the best way for us all to get through it is to just sit put collectively, and eventually it'll go away, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if everybody just did it, because that's what the government is hoping, that everybody just complies to it, and then it goes away, the sooner that we can get back to whatever the new normal is going to be, right?
No. This is way too level-headed of a conversation to have about COVID. So I'm just going to speak up and just say, like, burn it down.
That's a good idea. We should drum up some people and storm some government building or something.
Oh man,
it works so well these days.
Get out of my brain. I was just gonna say
my gosh. Yeah.
I'll put on some Viking horns and some body paint.
Let's storm the legislative building, you guys. Let's do it tonight.
You gotta say, the guy with the horns, he did it in style.
Oh yeah. I mean, I may not agree with his political views, but respect no less.
Yeah.
So I think like fucking Trump got banned from like Facebook and Twitter and shit today too, didn't he?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday, and he's allowed to stay.
Twitter made it permanent today.
Yeah.
They said he's permanently off Twitter now, and Facebook and Instagram was yesterday, and I think they just said indefinitely for now, at least. I think the only thing they said that was concrete was that it would be at least until after the inauguration.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing. And the other thing I saw that was just like, man, really? Was they wanted to remove him with the 25th Amendment, and I'm not going to explain that because I know what they've explained on the news recently, but I'm not a political expert by any means. Anyways, they wanted to do that, but they need Mike Pence and then some other people to start doing that, and Mike Pence wouldn't even answer their phone call. So he's just dogging it entirely. And so because they couldn't do that, now they actually have to try and go through the impeachment process.
Yeah.
So because the other way didn't work out, they're starting to go through that process to try and remove him that way. And I think honestly, I mean, I think he shouldn't be the president, but given that there's like 12 days now,
it's 11 days.
11 days. So I don't think the timing is really going to work out. And he's basically like, if you've seen him today, in my opinion, he's kind of like, okay, I'm just going to crawl into a cave and disappear now. And like, I'm not going to the inauguration, he said, or whatever.
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah,
so he's like disowned and threw his supporters under the bus and saying he had nothing to do with it, which, I mean, I didn't see him say anything about being violent or whatever, but he did tell them to go down there. And then Rudy Giuliani, though, straight up is on video saying use trial by combat, like flat out. But anyways, I mean, it's horrible either way, but so I think now he just, he made that BS speech saying I don't condone the violence and whatever, and people will be prosecuted and blah blah blah, and it's going to be a peaceful transition. And I think he's just going to kind of try and hide out underground basically until it's over at this point, because I think it blew up on him really bad, and I think the severity of it might have actually hit him unlike it has before, kind of thing. So
a couple of things on that. First is that I lost both points now.
See what I gotta work with, you guys.
No, so Bernie Sanders actually said, like, people were asking, like, well, it's only 11 days, why don't you just let him ride it out? And it was like, well, no, because if we do that, then we tell the next guy that wants to do something stupid like this that he can get away with it, you know. So now is the time to do something about it, so that, at least there's a a point made, like you can't pull this shit.
Yeah, timing doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be dealt with, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and what's fucking enraging, I mean, I guess just to me, and this kind of, and again, I know you guys don't normally like talking politics, but we're on the subject anyway. So
just right in it.
What kind of fucking drives me nuts about it is that he went out and he said, I'll concede, like I'll step out of office and that's all fine and good. But then in the same fucking breath, he's like, but I still won the election. It's like, well, fuck you, man. Like, just step off. Like, you don't need to get that fucking last word in. Just be like, I'll concede, move on. Like, it's just all that him doing that is doing is just stoking those flames more, right? Like, I'll leave, but I won. Like,
and they were bragging about so many things, like all the records he broke. Like, I got more votes than any other incumbent president and all this stuff. Like, you know, man, when you lost the election, you could have still ridden that wave on the way out and been like, I lost, but I got more votes than any other blah, 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 and whatever. And I set all these records and all this. Like, you could have still gone out with your head pretty high. I mean, I know that's not his style and that would just be completely unquestionable, but I mean, I would have ridden that wave being like, I got 74 million motherfuckers, you know, like that's not bad, right? Like, I can lose with that. That's all right. But no, I just can't be that way, I guess, right? So.
It's funny if you see the reactions of Trump supporters after that speech that he gave yesterday. They were like, well, what the fuck? You invited us in and now you pulled this shit? Come on.
It's pretty unreal. Yeah. Just turning
Wait a second, he didn't drink the Kool-Aid. He didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote that speech, but it was definitely not himself.
No, probably the same person. Well, no, probably not the same person who wrote his acceptance speech when he won, but
I doubt it.
That wasn't his speech either.
That person got fired probably already.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was just gonna note that with if they don't go through the impeachment, then he still has the ability to run for president in the future. If they do an impeachment and he is even after the 11 found that he wasn't suited, then at least that won't allow him to be able to. My understanding anyway, he won't be allowed to be run for president in the future. So I think that
if he, sorry.
I was just going to say, so I think that regardless that you know it's still only 11 days left, it might be the first thing that the new president is going to focus on to make sure it goes through. This is my first order of business. Finish this impeachment.
Right. Do you think if Trump did run again, like let's say in the next 4 years, like do you think he'd actually have a chance at winning again after all this bullshit?
I'll say this. I didn't think he had a chance in fucking hell the first time he won.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, right. Trump's gonna fucking win. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy fuck. Like, how did that happen?
And I think it really comes down to the outcome of the next 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like is Biden going to be able to get the U.S. out of the pandemic in a better manner and clean it up a little bit, restore the economy? Because if it doesn't, then whoever, regardless if it's Trump or anybody else, whoever the Republican side is just going to feed off of that and absolutely blast Democrats for doing a shitty job.
Fucking sucks. They got to be so damn old. Like those.
I was like,
man, like fuck.
When I first heard that they have to do this so he can't run again, I was like, is he going to be alive in 4 years?
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
Biden is what? How old is he?
Isn't it 76 or some shit?
Yeah, he's gonna be 80 or something when his term is done, or his
first. And he just broke his leg a month ago.
I think.
Oh,
the
really?
oldest?
I believe so. Yeah, I think they said he was. I'll check it right now, but I'm pretty sure they said he'll be the oldest president in the history of the United States.
Wow.
But
he also said that he won't run for a second term, right?
I didn't hear anything about that. Yeah, he's 78 years old. He just turned 78 at the end of November.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
There's all these memes when he won about Kamala Harris, who is like they're pushing Joe Biden over a cliff. Basically, I can't remember how it went. I'm ruining it, but congratulations on pushing him off the cliff.
Then they would have the first female president of color.
That's right.
Right.
That'd be
You were trying to figure out what to say there. Hey, black or of color?
no,
Or...
because I think officially she's not black because
She's
she's
biracial.
mixture or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's I want to say I know like one of her parents is black and then the other one is like
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What do you
Either
think
way.
about all those fucking pronouns and shit, like the he, her, she, like whatever?
Man, we're getting deep, hey? Oh.
So basically, all we have to cover off now is religion, and we've covered the three things that we're not supposed to talk about on here. We got race. We added gender somehow.
So before we get into that, just so we know, so Joe Biden will be he's 78. The oldest president to leave office was 77 when he left.
Holy shit.
So actually Donald Trump, it says that Reagan was the oldest president at 69 and left when he was 77 years old. This is just according to some USA Today on Google. But yeah, Trump was the oldest president at 70, I guess. And yeah, Biden's just going to blow that out of the water. So
fuck, man, that's crazy.
By
Is Trudeau the youngest prime minister that we've had? Justin Trudeau?
I don't know. I think he's definitely
one of.
He's pretty young, man. He's not that much older than us.
Yeah, he's super
young. Think I know to be president you have to be 40 to be the president. I don't know if that same.
I think it's 35.
Is it? Okay. I wasn't sure if there was an age limit on prime minister.
Trudeau is 49. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What? Oh man, he actually does look like not 49 years old.
He looks good, eh? He's a handsome fucker, that guy.
He's a handsome dude. You can't argue with that. We got a hot prime minister.
Yep, I agree.
Joe Clark was the youngest prime minister.
At what age?
21.
40th birthday.
Oh. Wow.
Trudeau would have been around that because I think he was, well, I guess no, if he's 49 now.
He'd been 45, I guess then, right? Or no, 44-ish.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Mid to early 40s, yeah. You want to
How
talk
old are
about
you,
pronouns, do you?
I was gonna say we gotta get back
I
to
don't know.
pronouns.
I think I was, yeah.
Joel's having
I
second
don't.
thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I don't want to get into that. I was just joking.
All right.
Hey, you asked the question when we did that live stream, and it was back in
March 21st, right?
Yeah, March 21st. So it's further back than I thought.
It was the first lockdown. It was because we did that live stream, and it went well, and we were thinking like, yeah, we got to do another one. Not too soon, but we wanted to do another one fairly quick. And then that was when the numbers were way lower than they were recently, but that was when they went into the lockdown where it was like nobody outside your own household and stuff. So we didn't, so we haven't done one since. But
and that's when we did. We each recorded we recorded guitar. I recorded guitar, and Mitch recorded guitar, and then we sent those. Mixed those together, sent those over to Shane. He recorded the vocals and sent back to me. I recorded backup vocals. And then I put the video and audio all together, and I posted just videos of a couple different songs that way, and those turned out pretty good. Then, so we wanted to try to keep staying active, with some online presence in the meantime. And then, as soon as it was a few weeks before when they were doing the reopening, that's when Bar Willow reached out to us. We had previous year at Beer Bros in Regina quite a bit. And they loved us there. So one of the managers that worked there also worked at Bar Willow. She reached out to us and said, "Hey, this is the day that we're able to have live music again. We want you guys to come play." So we chatted about it, and we went and checked out how they were set up just to make sure everything was done right, everything's safe. They did a great job of setting it up, making sure each table was distanced properly. And gave us a lot of space, and it's outdoors on the patio. It's actually a great place to play music or live music. It's
awesome.
Yeah, like an open patio, lake behind us, and
we ended up playing an impromptu wedding there actually this summer too. That was fun.
Yeah,
didn't have a clue. So
you walked up and they're like, Oh, they're getting married. Okay, we'll play some
Well,
tunes.
it was two people. Like, so they had made their wedding plans, I guess, before the whole COVID thing had happened, and then that all happened, and they had to kind of scale it down. So they basically booked the Bar Willow the night
Oh,
their wedding cake,
Hey,
and that was the first time.
we
That-
lost you when you said that they had to scale it down.
Okay, sorry guys. Again, internet is shitty. But anyway, yeah. So I guess they decided that they were just going to have a few people. They were going to do it at the Bar Willow, and the Bar Willow didn't even know about it until the night before when we were playing as well. And I guess the next day we were there, and there was a guy in a suit and a lady in a wedding dress, and we're like, holy fuck, what did we get ourselves into?
But actually,
yeah, it was
that
super fun. They
was a great
appreciated
night,
it.
Yeah.
It was, because they had, and I felt really good about it too, not to be like that guy, but it was nice because they didn't think they'd be able to get a first dance and that kind of stuff, and we were able to kind of play them a song for their first dance. It was super fun.
Yeah, we showed them our set list and said, "What song do you want for your first dance?" And we'll play the first. And they're like, "Well," they suggested one. We're like, "We don't know what that is." Look at the list, please. Please look at the list. Thank you.
Hey, well, I asked. We had Amy Gaba and Amy Gaba from Amy Gaba and the Almost Famous last week, and I asked her, like, obviously this has happened to you guys. Like, when you're playing a set, when you have that person in the crowd who's got their arms crossed and they're just like not engaged at all, but being able to flip them so that by the end of this set they're like bobbing their head or shaking their fist or anything like that, right? Does that happen frequently with you guys, or not so much? Or has it even happened?
I'm sure it's happened. I think for us, like, when it comes to like room 333, I think it would be more common. Because I don't say that. People, like, I don't know how to really word it.
It's not as palatable for like just like the hard rock market is pretty. I think it's relatively narrow. Like there's not a lot of people you're going to bump into walking down the street who are listening to Deftones in their earbuds, kind of thing, right? Like, it's we don't really play music that all the kids are listening to these days, I guess, and stuff like that, right? But anyway, sorry, Shane, go ahead.
And Shane, Shane doesn't really know because he sings with his eyes closed.
You got it, buddy. I don't pay attention. Yeah, no, I definitely with room 333, I've seen it happen. I think in particular, one show that kind of comes to mind, and I don't know if this is what I would consider to be a success story, but Mitch, do you remember when we played, was it Rokenville at the Relay for Life in the rink?
Oh, Milestone,
right?
Yeah.
And we played a Relay for Life, and I don't think the organizers knew what they were getting themselves into, because we weren't doing covers. We were doing full-on room 333 in a rink full of people that are just walking around this rink for Relay for Life. And I think when we started playing, there was a whole bunch of people there. They had their as they were walking by, they'd cover their one ear and stuff like that. But there was a few people as the evening went on that like really got into it, which I appreciated. That was one of the most fun shows that we've done that I can remember, because I was just like, well, these people hate what the fuck we're doing, so I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, like, I'm sure that stuff happens, but with King for a Day, our attitude, because now we've all been playing music for quite a long time, and we've been playing music together in different ways for a long time. I don't think we just ever really took it that seriously, and we kind of went into it like we're playing bar gigs and stuff. And so in Saskatchewan, that means your background music. Like, people just don't give a shit about live music here. So we never really worried about it. And part of it is kind of what Shane was saying, like with room 333, we weren't active for a lot of years. So I'm not going to sit here and bitch about people not coming to our shows. But like we draw a small crowd and stuff, and we play small venues, and it was fun and everything, but we weren't everybody's type of music. And in Regina, there's not, I mean, there might be more now. I wouldn't, we can't really say because we haven't been super active in the live scene lately, but there hasn't really been a lot of hard rock bands around the city. Like there's been a lot of indie music over the years and a lot of heavy metal stuff. And there's, you know, of course there's other stuff too, but there just wasn't a huge rock scene. So we were always playing like we're either by far the heaviest band on the set of the night because we're playing with death metal, like, you know, double kicks, riding and blast beats all nights and growls and stuff like that. So part of me, like honestly, going through the Room 333 stuff, because that music was just, it's the original stuff. It's what you really put yourself into when you're writing it. So when you don't get great responses or you kind of play to dry crowds from time to time, you just kind of at a certain point, and it makes it so much better once you finally hit this, but you give up the dreams of getting big long time ago. But then there's just another part of it for me. There was even another layer to it that was like, yeah, not only do I not care about not making it, but like if we're in a room with 60 people and 14 of them are enjoying it and the other ones aren't, like they can go fuck themselves. I don't care. Like I'm there to perform and have fun with the guys that like, and because we're not active, like I get super jacked up when the 4 or 5 of us get together in a room and play together, period. So when we play a show, like I could care less if it's the bartender and the other bands and they're having a decent time. And so doing that and kind of getting into that headspace, when we go and play as King for a day at these bars, like we've gotten really good reception. It's been, I think, better than any of us could have expected. But if we didn't, like I just wouldn't give a shit. And there's lots of times when we play some of these covers and we play joke songs and different Britney Spears and NSYNC and whatever, and most of the time it goes over well. Yeah, Spice Girls and most of the time it goes over well, but every once in a while there's one person that, like, more so jokingly, but they're just not into it, and like just really don't fucking care even in the least. Like you can kind of roll your eyes back at them sometimes, and a lot of like sometimes that'll get them laughing and engaging with you kind of thing and whatever, but I just don't give a shit. And I feel like the other guys probably don't either, and I think we put on a better show because of it. So
we're just having fun. Like we're just having fun. That's my main thing.
I was gonna say that I think if you go in with that kind of mentality, you're not setting the bar, or you're not setting high expectations for yourself or for the end result. So then whatever happens, and you're having a good time, and that is all that matters. You know, at the end of the night, you get paid. Done deal.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're doing something we enjoy doing, and we're having fun doing it. We tell cheesy fucking dad jokes up on stage and occasionally get a chuckle. And you know, we make fun of each other when we fuck up on a song, and that's I feel like that's kind of our calling card. Actually, we just rip on each other when we fuck up on stage. But yeah, we have fun. We enjoy it. I mean, Room 333 is definitely more of a serious thing for us, and I think that's why that one definitely, I know for me, it kind of affects me a little bit more if somebody's not really enjoying it. But it's not the end of the world, right? Like it's not, music is subjective, right? Like I mean, some people are going to like it, some people are not, no matter what kind of music you're playing. So it's cool. But as far as especially the King for a Day stuff, I'm just out there to be a goofball and have fun doing it. So
yeah, for me with the Room 333, I find that not a lot of people know our song, or like know us. That like we have our, you know, core group of fans that come to our shows, and then, you know, each band brings their own group of friends or whatever, and I find that, you know, like everybody else that comes that don't know us don't know our songs, so they're just trying to understand. And that's a lot of time when you see people in the crowd watching, listening, and sure, they may get their head bobbing a little bit, but they don't really get into it.
Right.
A lot of times it's not that they're not enjoying it, it's just they've never heard this before, right? Like this, I've never heard this song, I haven't heard it on the radio, it's not something that's common to me or familiar. Yeah, so I try not to look at it as, well, I got to make sure that person's jumping around and having fun. It's more so I want to make sure that I'm doing what I can on stage to make the show for them good, regardless of how they're responding. Right. As I mean, when I'm doing Room 333, if I wasn't restricted with a cord, I'd be running around the whole venue, and the microphone. I don't have a wireless mic on my head, so I can't go all that far. But I love moving around. I love jumping around, right? So versus like when we do King for a Day stuff, and exactly what both Shane and Mitch said. I love just going out and doing it and having fun, and who gives a shit if those guys or the audience enjoys it or not, right? And
better if they do.
no, it's always better when the audience is engaged, right? It 100%. So it isn't fun saying, well, thanks a lot to everybody for listening to that song and not clapping and not responding to it, versus everybody, yeah, thank you, yeah, right. So it's always better that way, but yeah, but at the end of the day, the King for a Day stuff, it's just it's more so an active hobby, I guess you could say, that we're making money off of. So
Right.
But I mean, people love it, and we
enjoy doing it.
yeah,
Fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like sometimes we always get people requesting songs like, hey, can you do this? Hey, I think you guys would really be good at doing that or whatever. It's we decide what songs we play, and it's not like we're not going to take those requests and look into them. We have, and we've done some, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure we enjoy the songs that we're doing, or we are enjoying how we do those songs. So and that's because it's like it's not our dedicated focus with Room 333 writing songs being that or dedicating ourselves to that, but at the end of the day, it's still stuff that we're doing, and we want to make sure that we're enjoying it, because that's what musicians,
that's what matters, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Like, you're a musician, you do it because you love it. So
For sure. Well, and like I said, guys, like fucking, I think it was not even 15 seconds into it, I was like, I was hooked, sold, man.
Nice. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
So
Awesome.
good. Sounded so good. Right on. What do you got there, Mark? I think we might shut her down, boys.
Okay.
Do you guys we were talking about Twitter and Instagram. Do you guys have Twitter and Instagram even? Because I know Room 333 doesn't, because I tried finding you guys and tagging you, but
we're on Facebook with Room 333, and then we're on Instagram and Facebook with King for a Day, and that would be the KFAD Music, I believe, for both.
Right.
KFAD Music is Facebook, and King for Instagram, I think it's KFAD Music Live, but let me just double check.
Okay.
I just sent you the Room 333 Facebook thing through the chat there as well.
Facebook.com.
No, can't see that.
Room
KFAD
333 band.
Yeah. Yes. And then KFAD Music Live. Here, I'll just I'll send that in the chat too.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah, so hopefully there'll be some music up there in the next couple days, or hopefully by the time this goes live, there'll be some Room 333 music on Spotify, all the regular streaming platforms that stuff goes out to.
Oh, so. Fucking rights, man! Like, I definitely enjoyed myself today, and I think, Mark, we can probably put a link to that live Facebook stream on this episode too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sweet.
So then fans can check it out. Check out the live stream from March.
We did live stream in March. We live streamed a number of shows at Bar Willow. We've posted we recorded all our shows throughout the summer as well, so we posted those. We did some other recordings and stuff at Mitch's place. So on Facebook we have just video after video after video, and over the past 3 years or whichever as well. So yeah, so check it out. It's awesome. It's great. Room 333, we got some stuff on there as well.
Is there
on Facebook too? But
can people get some merchandise? You said you got lots of CDs and stuff left over too, right?
Oh yeah.
We got lots of CDs, T-shirts. We got old T-shirts, new old T-shirts.
And would people just
I could throw in some Still Seed T-shirts for free if they want.
They can just fire us a message. If they fire us a message, whether it's Instagram through the King for a Day stuff, or the Room 333, if they message the Facebook page, we'll get whatever we need to, whether it's CDs or T-shirts, out to anybody. We don't really have any kind of store set up or anything hopefully with some new music coming out this year, when live music becomes a thing again, we'll be a bit more active in the live scene and have some more stuff up that way. But yeah, anybody who wants some music, it will be available to stream today when this goes live, or if not, in the near future. And yeah, we can send anything anywhere to anybody. We'd be happy to do that because we've got a lot of it sitting around. So
Nice. Right on, guys. Like I said, thank you for joining us tonight. You guys have an open door here. So when that like new shit starts coming out, if you guys want to come back on the show and plug it again, like just reach out to us too, right? You're part of the family now, so mi casa, su casa.
Whether you like it or not.
sweet. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
thanks
us.
so much for having us on. Yeah, it was nice. It was good talking to you guys.
Right
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
All
Have
right.
a good night.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Take care.
You guys.